Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Big thank you once again for the support you're granting this platform. I want to shock you. In Kenya, around 2024, there was news that the government is planning to lease the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for 30 years to an Indian investor to collect, maintain, employ, that is, take over JKIA for 30 years. So when Kenyans went into protests, the deal was cancelled and everyone went back to the normal duties. Even the workers at JKIA went for protests. But this deal never died. It only went silent for Kenyans to forget. And the weakness we have in Kenya, and politicians have known this, that we Kenyans, our wave is short-lived. Like the one for Ebola, we protested a few days, it went off. The one for JKIA, we protested, it went off. Since that time, nobody has ever gone back to ask himself, did William Ruto continue with the same deal, or did he continue with a different deal under the same terms and conditions? So, news is leaking today. Though it's a secret, news is leaking today and documents have leaked that the government has now officially awarded China Communications Construction Company 375.4 billion, that is about 2.9 billion US dollars contract for the upgrade and expansion of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport under the newly established National Infrastructure Fund, that is NIF. There is a video I did here and told you William Ruto plans to surrender again JKIA to a different investor. I told you here, and Ruto confirmed it. It has come to pass. And according to the announcement, the construction works is supposed to begin towards the end of this June 2026, because the government has already receipted of seed capital for the NIF from the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC. So ile pesa walitoa Kenya Pipeline wamepeleka kuweka kama mbegu katika ujenzi wa kituo hicho, kiwanja cha ndege. The deal marks a return to the large-scale infrastructure financing involving Chinese contractors after the cancellation of a previous concession agreement with the Indian Adani Group 2 years ago, which came into the public that there is a company called Adani that wants to take over the JKIA for 30 years. So that deal was cancelled. Now listen to this. The expansion will follow a 20-year master plan running through 2045, which, according to the information, will provide a first infrastructure development, capital expenditure planning, and financial feasibility projections. Now, a report from Bloomberg, it says The contract was awarded to the Chinese Communications Consortium Company, although, nataka usikize hii. Information from Bloomberg inasema serikali imepeana mkandarasi huo, but it has not yet made a formal public announcement on the deal. It was given out secretly. Maybe William Ruto feared if this comes to the public domain, there will erupt protests. Maybe. Maybe there will be protests like the one for 2024 that saw the cancellation of a done deal. So here China imefanywa kisiri. So as of now, William Ruto has handed over your JKIA secretly to a Chinese investor. That is the latest in our news. William Ruto has secretly handed over your JKIA to the Chinese group. Nobody is against the construction of JKIA to the standard that we need, that is the international standard. The question we are asking, and we have been asking, does it mean JKIA can't be built with our taxes that forces us to listen to people, to manage it, employ people, take it over for 20, 30 years? Does it mean we have no capacity to build it without necessarily listening to people for that quite long time? In March this year, those of you who remember, Ruto stated that the 20 billion from the proceeds of the Kenya Pipeline Company sell as a seed funding for the expansion of the 60-year-old airport. It was not yet clear at that time how the government will finance or bridge the remaining balance of over 355 billion required for the project. So the government of Kenya has secretly planted a seed of 20 billion to the project. But no public documents that clearly show how the balance amounting to a tune of 355 billion will be raised to pay the contractor. So these deals are being done secretly. No public documents yet outlining how the government is going to raise the balance. Does this communicate anything to you? The Chinese firms have maintained a significant presence in Kenya, of course, in infrastructure. Wao ndio walijenga the Nairobi Expressway under Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Wakajenga paka ikaisha. Wao ndio wanajenga the Rironi Mau Summit Highway. Chinese, wao ndio wanajenga the Standard Gauge Railway. Walijenga during the Uhuru regime. They are also extending it to Malaba in the William Ruto regime. Now, the question here is not about who was awarded the tender. The question is, where are we going to raise the balance from? Is it at least mtu akuje hapa atake over JKIA, avute watoto wenu kazi, avute wale wako ready there, aenda alete wenzao kutoka nchi yao wakuje kuajiriwa hapa kwa sababu they have the monopoly and the government has given them a go ahead to manage the airport until the balance is cleared. I don't know. It will be built in phases. Phase 1 will focus on upgrading the existing airport infrastructure, including taxiways, terminal processing areas, landslide access, and digital systems. Phase 2, it will involve the major expansion works, including the construction of a new 4,500-meter parallel runway and a 230,000 square meter passenger terminal designed to handle an additional 10 million passengers annually. The new terminal will look like the X-shaped design intended to improve passenger circulation and enhance service efficiency. So I'm informing you tonight, as Jeff says, that yes, your airport has been secretly released to a Chinese investor with no public terms and conditions, with no public documents, with no public contracts, with nothing, no parliamentary approvals. It has already been given. Kenya has already injected a seed of 20 billion, and nobody knows how the balance of over 300 billion will be raised. Nobody has a clue. Nobody has information. So even me, I have no information. I leave it at that. God bless you. Send the next episode. Asanteni sana.